Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the stage your host and founder of Corporate Eco Forum, Mr. M.R. Rangaswamy.
Good morning. Did all of you enjoy the dinner last night? At least the ones who were there? That made us reflect on ecology and humanity and the future of life, I think. Well, it was a great location. I'm glad most of you were able to attend. We have a pretty busy day today, so let me get started with the proceedings. I think the theme, as we mentioned yesterday, of the forum was how do you drive eco-opportunity in challenging times? And I think one of the key elements that came out in a lot of the discussions yesterday was innovation. And so today, really the theme of today, as a sub-theme, if you will, is all about innovation. How can we use innovation to move sustainability forward, corporate strategy forward? And so we have many different sessions, beginning with our initial keynote, where C.K. Prahalad will have three great CEOs really talk about innovation and sustainability. Later on this morning, there's a session on smart grid, which is all about innovation as well. And then this afternoon, there'll be 5 different breakout sessions where we formally connect 20 really interesting startups with all of you. And that's going to be a fantastic session. We had a similar session last year with 3 startups, and people really enjoyed it. So we said, let's bring 20 of them together. You'll get a chance to meet all of them at lunch. And then in the afternoon, we have 5 sessions all around innovation and disruption: energy, water, transportation, IT, and materials and buildings. So it's going to be really focused on innovation pretty much all day today. And we'll be in and out of this room. So the agenda is going to be, we have the opening keynote at this room, and then we have 5 breakout sessions this morning. And I'll take a vote towards the end of this as to which session you'll be going to so we can potentially reprogram some of the rooms. But to get going on the morning session, we are very pleased to have C.K. Prahalad, who is on our advisory board. He's written, as you know, many great management books, and now is focused on sustainability as well as innovation. And one of the things we're happy to report is that the work we've done at the Eco Forum over the last year has really borne fruit. Ram Nidamalu, who is also with us, C.K. Prahalad and I have our paper accepted in the Harvard Business Review for publication in September. So that's a big accomplishment for the forum, because most of the research we did came from the Eco-Innovation Report that we did with all of you last year. So this will be an article that comes out in the September issue of Harvard Business Review. So the forum's thought leadership and knowledge is now going to a larger audience as well. So please welcome C.K. Prahalad and his panelists.
Thank you. Right. Good morning. I'm just delighted to be back here again this year. And we have a great panel. I'll introduce the panelists and the subjects that they're going to talk about in a little while. I just want to give a sense of context on what we plan to accomplish in this panel. If you look at the debate on sustainability, they can be put in 3 buckets. The dominant bucket is really looking at sustainability as driven by public policy, compliance, regulation. That's terribly important, especially public policy and investments, but that tends to dominate the thinking. For example, yesterday we started off by saying, what will the Senate and the Congress do this year? And of course, the conclusion is not much. So I think there is a dominant part of the debate. The second part of the debate is looking at sustainability and saying, how do we educate the citizens? How do we educate customers? And one good news which came out yesterday in one of the sessions is that the awareness, the attitudes, the ideals of sustainability is taking deep roots in not only in Western Europe, but certainly in the United States. Now, how to convert these attitudes and values into personal choices may be a different question, but I think that is likely to happen as well. The third, which is less discussed and therefore of interest, is to look at sustainability as innovation. And to really focus, it came out yesterday, and all of you are aware of it, but to really start looking at sustainability as innovation, sustainability as a process of value creation and securing competitive advantage. So what we are going to focus is not to underplay the importance of public policy or education and awareness, but to focus in this panel on how do you think about sustainability as a source of value creation and certainly a source of innovation. And I think when you start looking at sustainability as innovation, obviously the focus has to shift to the firm and the private sector and its initiatives that focus on sustainability. And I'm going to start by saying a lot of the discussion on looking at sustainability starts from where we are today. And if you position yourself in the current state of affairs and try to develop strategy, you're always going to extrapolate the problems of today. So strategy to me is folding the future in. That means you must have a point of view about what the future can be and ask the question, how do I fold that future so that we can move our organizations towards that future? So I think we are going to spend some time not only looking at what our companies are doing today, but also ask the question, what is the point of view that we collectively in this room, our companies have on the future and sustainability as a goal? And the reason why this has become critically important, and this does not also get a lot of play in the discussion, is the planet's problems are caused by just 1.5 billion people enjoying a certain quality of life. That's the top of the pyramid. If you think about 4 billion additional people, whether they are in China, India, Brazil, Mexico, Indonesia, all wanting to join the global markets and get a minimum standard of life, not the same standard of life that we have, just imagine what it means. I think we have to link the discussion of sustainability with inclusive growth on a global basis. That creates some very interesting opportunities and problems. For example, if I just look at emerging markets, even if we just take 3 billion people, additional consumers, and if we can only take 20% of energy use or the footprint that a typical American has, we have 600 million American equivalents to take care of in the next 15 years or next 10 years. Just imagine what it means. That is 3 times the United States, just at 20% of what I call an American equivalent footprint, carbon footprint. That is not possible. So one thing that becomes obvious is innovations are inevitable if you want to even have remotely inclusive growth. We don't have a choice. And therefore, I think the debate more and more to shift to innovations and how do we morph the industrial system as we know it towards one that is more eco-friendly. I also think we can ask an interesting question. If another 3 billion people are going to be consumers and producers, where are we likely to see breakthrough innovations? Is it going to happen in the United States and Europe? Or is it more likely to happen in China and India? And I believe that's an important debate for us to have. In the US, we have not only legacy systems, but also legacy mindsets. Consumers are trained to think in a certain way. If you ask them to change the way detergents are used, you have to have a long process of innovation, and you have to also replace a whole bunch of washing machines that we have.